How was that? Hickok 45 here. Looks like it's going to be an AR15 day. So yeah, we're going to look at this AR. You might have seen the picture of it on Facebook from Trojan Firearms out of California and Arizona. I think they make the lowers in Arizona and the rest of it in California. Just it's a more friendly gun state in Arizona. It's easier to do. I think it just makes doing business a little bit easier in Arizona. Imagine that, than in California. And anyway, they sent us this. It's a freebie. And I almost talked them out of it, really. Interesting to look at the conversation I had with them on Facebook about these guns, because we don't just take any old AR, and unless there's something a little bit different about it. It's like really cheap, maybe, or it's I don't know, very well made, and I don't know. We just kind of play it by ear. But anyway, finally I said, yeah, go ahead and send it, and and I'm really glad I did. So far, I really like it. I really like it. It feels great. I love that rail, and it shoots well so far. I've had no problems with it at all, and it's a joy to shoot. Okay, and we'll talk about maybe some of the reasons why. I know there's not a lot of difference between among many of the ARs out there, but sometimes the differences are just subtle, and you're not even sure what it is about them that you like. And I know an AR is not everybody's favorite firearm. Some people hate the things. I've never really hated them, but I see their purpose, and they're great firearms, no doubt about that. These people started out, I think it was, you can check their website, it's like 30 years in making parts, precision parts for the aerospace industry and the defense industry. So this is kind of what they did, back a few years ago when everybody got into making ARs. They did too, but at least they had a background in precision work. And that's the one thing you feel about this gun. It feels like it is made well. It really does. So let's put a magazine in it, since we loaded one up here. One of these P-mags, and see if it'll shoot. Helping us. So let me put my ears on, just take a couple of shots. It's 5.56, of course, and they make their own. They make almost everything. It's got some Magpul, stock on it thing, but they make the lower, the upper, the rails, the muzzle brake. It's actually a muzzle brake. They designed it, and they make that. And it's not too bad. I don't like muzzle brakes that just, jar the county when you fire it, and this doesn't seem to do that. So let's take a couple shots. All right. Let's just go on over there. Feels good. Let's try that 2-liter over there before that goat eats it. All right, sorry, goat. You don't get any, guy. Oh, let's move back over here at something like an ammo can there. 223 doesn't do much to it, does it? Just puts a quick little hole in it, like you drilled it. Those of you who shoot 5.56 know what I'm talking about. Oh, let's get rid of this 2-liter. He's too close. Probably to end up attacking me or something. Ow. Uh-oh, I gotta watch it. I shot a pig the other day with a 308. Went through the 2-liter. You might have seen that through the M1A. And put a big gash in a pig. So I got to watch that with rifle rounds. Let's see, we got a Federal ammo box full of water there. Was full of water. There we go, hit that one right. You've got a higher sight plane, which I've talked about before. When you're shooting up close, the bullet impact is going to be lower than you would normally expect, okay, because your line of sight's up here and your barrel's down there, believe it or not. So if you shot this up right into some cardboard at point blank, obviously the sight point of aim is going to be about, what, 3 inches, 4 inches above where the bullet hits. So when you're up close, you got to keep that in mind, maybe. Let's go over there and try that pot on the barrel. And just smoking. Finished him off on the last shot, yeah. Oh man, you might not like these, but you know, they've grown on me a little bit more over the years, as I've pointed out before. And they're all different. They, well, subtly, they feel different, usually based on the rail, you know, and your grip. This rail is one of the attractions of this. As I understand, this company hasn't been making these that long, and you've probably never heard of them. Now, if you're in California, you might have Arizona, but they sell a lot of the rails, and I think the 3-gun shooters kind of like the rail. They even have one that's not quite as sharp, but I don't mind this at all. That feels just fine to me. I like a little friction there, but it just fits my hand like a glove. You know, it's key mod, of course, but it's the perfect size. And I have noticed at SHOT Show that a lot of ARs are coming out that look like this in the rail, instead of the big quad rail that, you know, feels like a 2x4 in some people's hand. I've got large hands, so I can handle those okay, but this still feels better to me. Of course, if you're going to hang a lot of stuff on it, you know, it may not, you know, but it just feels great to both John and me. So that's cool. Like I said, they make the lowers, they make the uppers, they make the rail. See, who is it? Walther, I think, makes their barrels. They make the gas block. They said they couldn't find a gas block they liked, a low profile gas block, so they designed their own. It's a 2-piece and has 4 screws in it. And you know, what else? It has a, what is the trigger? AGL. I'm not familiar with them, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm not familiar with a lot of things. I think it was AGL, combat trigger. And it's okay. It's not like the very best I've ever felt, but it's good. It's a good trigger, and yeah, much better than what comes on ARs, generally speaking, for sure. And like I say, I put LWRC sights on it. It didn't have any sights on it, and I like the color. I don't think it's Cerakote. I think some other outfit. They use Cerakote and they use some other outfit, but that's a kind of a custom color. I don't know if that's in their catalog or not. But I'll put their website if anybody's interested, you know, in the description and everything. I'm liking it. Now, you notice it doesn't have a forward assist, and either that or it's petrified or something there. No, they say they set out to just design a sleek rifle, a good-looking rifle is really what they did. And they talked to a lot of people and came to the conclusion that most people, or at least a lot of people, don't really want a forward assist. And you've got 2 or 3 schools of thought on that. Of course, you can argue that both ways, right? If you're familiar with ARs, you can argue it both ways. Most people can. I kind of prefer a forward assist, even though you don't necessarily have to use it. Now, some of you who haven't studied that issue, there are some really expert people that will tell you, if you're banging that forward assist, if you got to hit that to get that round in the chamber, you're creating possibly more problems, you know, that you don't need to be, you know, if that round doesn't want to go in, you might stick it in and it won't ever come out, you know, so in a hairy situation, that wouldn't be good. So there's a lot of ways to think about that. But, you know, when you're just generally shooting around, you're press checking and making sure you get a round in, you know how you do sometimes, you say, oh, do I have a round in there? You know, you just kind of pull it back a little bit, and then maybe it's a little dirty and it doesn't want to go forward on you. You can just, you know, pop it on in, and, you know, so you kind of miss it in those situations. But then again, it's not absolutely essential. Let me, now it's tight. Like I say, it's new, and I don't want to damage it any more than I have to here. But getting that pin started requires a little tap on it there. Let me show you the bolt. I know, you got all the ARs you want, but there are a lot of people still looking for ARs, the most popular rifle in the country. These defensive rifles, modern sporting rifles, whatever you want to call them. Now I put that in too, that charging handle. I switched that out. The carrier is, was it nickel Teflon coated, and then the bolt is nickel boron. So they say they do that differently, so, you know, with a different material, so you don't have it fusing or anything. I don't know. They seem to be really expert nerds, you know, in this. I don't know, and maybe they're not, but they seem to be. And I used to be a little wary of bolts that were coated with stuff like that, but through the guns we've reviewed, several of them have come with bolts or carriers like this with a nickel boron coating, that kind of thing. And I have to say, it doesn't feel like something that's going to chip off, you know. So I'm a little bit of a convert on that. And it's so smooth and easier to clean. So take that for what it's worth. So anyway, put that back in there. So far, and I've shot it quite a bit over the last week or two. I just like it. They just feel good. I don't know what it is about it exactly. They tell me that they get really good reports from people that shoot these things and 3-gun or whatever they're doing, and want to know why they shoot so well or they feel so good. And they say they don't even know. They say they just set out to make a rifle that is that was slim, sleek, and cool, felt good with really quality parts and very, very well made. And their take on it is just dumb luck, as the guy told me. It's really just dumb luck that people, when they shoot the things, like them, you know, more than they probably should for some reason. And I'm kind of in that camp. It just, I don't know what it is, but it just feels good, and it's fun to shoot. I don't know if it's partly the muzzle brake or what the heck it is, but let's shoot it some more. And again, I'm not selling them. I don't care whether you like them or not. I just kind of like this one. I'll tell you, I think a lot of it is, I'm really influenced by the color. I like that color, kind of a gunmetal, and the feel of it, you know, and it's kind of a minimalist rifle. It's just about the right weight, and it's just kind of what I like in an AR. It's cool. So now it may start malfunctioning, and I will throw it in the creek. Let's see if we can get the mag in. You know what that was? That's a Brownells mag, and they don't know how to make a magazine. It needs to have a sight on it, doesn't it? So I can get it into the mag well. Okay. I must have had 30 rounds on that one. I usually load down my AR mags to like 28, 29. John tries to load them up to 35. Got to watch him. All right, let's shoot something else that needs shooting. Oh, like right here. Oops, I'm about to shoot through it and hit my stand. Cool, about to shoot through that one too. A piece of cinder still on that barrel over there. Yeah, it was. It was. Okay, there's just something about the thing. You just want to keep shooting, and you have a hard time missing with it. I don't know. I just like it. Yeah, I was reminded there when I was, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, shooting through the 2 liters and hitting steel. Now with a 5.56, that doesn't happen as often, I think, as with a 308. But because a 5.56 will kind of go crazy and even come apart sometimes once it hits something with too much resistance. But I don't have any ammo out here, but I got some ammo recently. Kind of a defensive ammo, DRT, I think it's DRT. Yeah, Dynamic Research Technology or something like that. It was recommended to me, and I was messing around with it. Come down here, I'll show you something. We're not going to charge you extra for this, okay? I just started shooting this propane tank recently, and I've got some shots down here low on it. I've shot the last few days messing around. And then these 2 up here are with some of that DRT. And I really wasn't even doing a test. I was actually aiming on that piece of dirt there, whatever it was, just to see where the point of aim was from up there. And like I say, you usually shoot low, you know, of course, the bullet. And then I was shooting later. It dawned on me, I looked around behind this thing, and you can see on the backside, those 2 DRT rounds did not even go through. And of course, any other, 5.56 goes through this like it's paper, because these really aren't that thick. And that was impressive to me. But there are rounds like that available. Just thought I'd throw that in, like I say, no extra charge. And there may be better rounds than that. I'm not, promoting that stuff. But for now, I got it in my defensive magazine. But I thought it was interesting because I've shot through propane tanks, as you know, for years and years with everything. And any rifle just shoots right through those things like they're tinfoil, basically. And so there is ammo, and that's one argument for a 5.56. A lot of people find it hard to believe because it's such a it is a powerful round, a lot of velocity, that it won't just go on forever through 49 different walls. You know, with the right ammo, it kind of comes apart after it hits something, and yeah, did not even go through that tank. That still surprises me because I've shot a lot of different things with this. You know that I like metal targets. So, oh, here's something I was going to show you. Let's just put the dumb thing on. I forgot about it. I should have done that when we had it off. Double check here. Yeah, we're open. One of the things that this company makes, these are funny people. They seem to have the right attitude about stuff. Somebody, some of their relatives, or I forgot, somebody within the company came up with this side charging handle, and it just replaces the charger. Let's see how you put it in there, John. Okay, and they sent that along with the gun. Yeah, it just goes in like the regular charging handle. Yeah, I thought I'd show you this. Cool. And the guy I talked to said they thought, well, that thing is kind of funky. Nobody's going to be interested in that. But it's actually one of their best sellers, he said. People in 3-gun or people with scopes on their rifle and different things are shooting from the prone a lot. You know what a side charger is. So it just uses the regular charging system there. And so it gives you a side charger in sort of a jury-rigged way. It's like something that we might have come up with in the barn there, and it's ambidextrous, you know, and so it's kind of interesting. So if you have a need for one of those, there you go. It'll work in any AR. Of course, it's just another charging handle. So now I gotta leave it on there. I guess I put it on. That's okay. We'll leave it on. I don't know. It's nothing I would leave on because it's kind of funky to me. All right, make a couple more shots here. Yeah, it worked. It charged it. Now I don't have anything to shoot. I've shot everything. Well, let's shoot that tank some more. Now this is regular ammo, so although I think I just put some soft point in there. Yeah, federal soft point, but that won't matter. Okay, you watch behind that propane tank, and it will not be stopped. I guarantee you. Oh, that's great. Okay, it's going right through it. That's what 223 does. It goes through stuff like that, but it won't go through those AR500 plates over there. You just wear stuff out. You just want to keep shooting. I think part of it is that muzzle brake. As small as it is, it seems to help, and I think that's their design. They make it. I like that minimalist, profile there. So I like the gun. All I can say, just being honest with you, I like it. If you have any input. Oh, and I'll tell you, I did, because they are so new into making these things, I called 4 or 5 of their dealers. And from about 3 of them, I got some pretty good information, and they really couldn't think of anything negative. They run about $1,500. Again, they're not cheap. It is one of the higher end, but not one of the crazy high end ARs. I talked to a couple of people that seemed really knowledgeable with ARs, and they were not just because they were selling them. It sounded they were talking about all kinds of ARs they sell, Daniel Defense and others, and the people who have these, and there's some guys that compete 3-gun with them and everything, and didn't like them. So I was just trying to get some feedback, because there's not much on the internet. So what I like to do before we bring a gun to video, usually, especially a gun that's maybe not quite as known, is see what the experience people are having with them are. Is everybody hating it? Everybody having trouble? Or what's going on? Anybody know anything about it? But so anyway, pretty nifty gun. I would not leave that on there. You might have a need for it. You might want to put a big scope on there, and then that's exactly what the doctor ordered, for you. It's interesting. Interesting design on that, I'll have to say. But I don't know, I just like it. So anyway, if you hate ARs, and I know there's people, oh, another AR, oh gosh, you're boring. I think a lot of that comes from people who just don't like black rifles in general. Some of the FUDs, you know, whoever, or people who have 2 or 3 ARs, they've got the ultimate ARs, they've rigged them up, and they just, okay, they're moving on. They want something else, you know, or they'd rather see us do some gun, you know, some rare firearm. I don't know what it is, but anyway, we like to do a lot of different kinds of firearms, and this is one of the most popular firearms, you know, on the planet right now in the United States. So we'll do one every now and then, and I like this one, and I don't plan to let it get away, to tell you the truth. You never know. Life is good.
Big John here. I've got the Trojan Firearms AR, and I have not fired this gun yet, so I wanted to shoot some rounds through it since we just got done doing a video with it. Got off the camera and got onto a gun, and never shot it before. And if while I'm shooting it, I think of anything that is worth mentioning, then I will. If not, then I just won't say anything. We'll just stare at each other for a while. Okay. That shot all the red off the plates. You can't see them. Could be just in my head, but it really does almost feel like you can feel the tolerances in this gun. It feels like maybe it's the brake, I don't know, but it feels like the recoil and everything, all the motion of the gun, it's like it just comes straight back. It just like it stays on a plane almost. I'm not sure what it is that causes that, but that's pretty noticeable, and it does make it feel like the gun's a little easier to shoot. The trigger I'm not crazy about, but it's a sweet shooter. Yeah, I have to say this is a pretty sweet gun. I mean, it really is. It's pretty finely tuned. And one of the things that I was curious about whenever I first laid eyes on it, when I first got it, was, well, I love how this thing feels, but the problem is if you're going to attach anything to it, you're going to have to attach a rail with this key mod system, which is actually going to in turn make this gun even bigger than a standard rail might. So that's one thing, but the cool thing is it doesn't get as hot as you would think it would. So you could actually have a rail up here and then still hold it down here and not completely burn your hands up. Now, of course, we haven't put 500 rounds through it, but usually it doesn't take long to, like a lot of these guns, fire even 2 or 3 mags very fast at all. You start really feeling some heat, and it's just ever so slightly warm. So I'm not really sure why that is. Maybe just because it has so much ventilation there that it doesn't retain any heat. I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem to get as hot as a lot of guns like this do when you just have metal with no actual heat shield of any kind. Now, I'm sure it would get too hot to handle if you fired 300 or 400 rounds at very much speed at all, but that part that surprises me. So yeah, this thing's pretty sweet. Of course, no, like Dad mentioned in the video, no forward assist. I mean, a lot of people say you don't really need one, but I like them. I like to have one, but it's not something I'm going to cry about because I don't have it. So yeah, this is a pretty neat gun.